Sometimes you escape danger without understanding how, as if an unseen force stepped in just for you, pulling you away from harm in the very last second. Maybe it was a detour you didn't plan, a delay that frustrated you at first, or a strange feeling urging you to stop, wait, or change direction. And in those quiet moments afterward, when you realized what could have happened, something inside you whispered that this wasn't just coincidence. It felt intentional. It felt guided. It felt like protection. Many people go through life never noticing these moments, brushing them off as luck or random chance. But some souls sense something deeper. They feel a pattern in the chaos, a meaning hidden beneath the surface, a presence watching over them when they needed it most. And often, without even knowing it, these are the souls who carry a calling within them, a calling that marks them as different, as set apart, as chosen. Today, we're diving into the powerful idea of the chosen one and what it means when heaven steps in on your behalf. Throughout history and across cultures, people have spoken about individuals whose lives seem touched by something divine, something protective, something that shields them in ways that defy logic. These people aren't perfect, and they don't always feel strong, holy, or destined. In fact, many feel lost, misunderstood, or burdened by challenges that others can't see. Yet somehow, no matter how dark things become, something keeps pulling them back into the light. Something keeps giving them one more chance. Something keeps reminding them they're not alone. As you listen to this message, I want you to think back on your own life. Think about the moments you still can't explain. Think about the sudden impulses you followed without knowing why. Think about the times when something told you to stay home, or take a different road, or pause before making a decision. Think about the people who appeared at the exact moment you needed them, or the situations that fell apart, only to reveal later that they were never meant for you. These aren't random. These aren't meaningless. These are signs, gentle, subtle, but powerful, that a greater force has been walking beside you. And perhaps, without ever realizing it, you have already been living the life of someone chosen. Being a chosen one doesn't mean being perfect or extraordinary in the traditional sense. It means your journey matters in ways you may not fully understand yet. It means there are moments in your life that the universe guards carefully. It means that heaven intervenes not because you're lucky, but because you carry a purpose. Maybe you've always felt different. Maybe you've always sensed you were meant for something more, even if you couldn't explain it. Maybe your path has been filled with struggles that shaped you into someone stronger, more intuitive, more awake. And maybe the protection you've experienced is proof that you're being guided towards something your soul already knows is waiting for you. So as we explore this idea together, allow yourself to be open. Allow yourself to remember. Allow yourself to feel. Because if you're watching this, and if these words stir something inside you, even something small, something quiet, then this message might not be an accident. It might be a reminder. It might be confirmation. And it might be meant specifically for you. If this topic resonates with you, don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more messages made just for you. There are moments in life that defy logic, moments that linger in the mind long after they pass because something about them feels off, uncanny, or strangely orchestrated. These are the moments people often shrug away as luck, timing, or pure coincidence. But for those who walk the path of a chosen one, these moments form a pattern, a tapestry of experiences that repeatedly push them away from danger and redirect them towards safety. And the deeper you look, the more impossible it becomes to believe these events happened by chance. Imagine a day when you woke up feeling uneasy, without knowing why. Maybe you had plans. Maybe you were supposed to meet someone, go somewhere, or accomplish something important. But something inside you whispered, no. Maybe it was a thought that didn't feel like your own, as if the idea floated into your mind without permission. You decided to stay home, change your route, or delay your trip for just a few minutes. At first, it seemed pointless or annoying. But then, later that day, news surfaced about an accident on the very road you were meant to take, or an unexpected event that would have put you in harm's way. And suddenly that small, quiet whisper from earlier didn't feel so random anymore. It felt protective. It felt intentional. There is a kind of protection that surrounds those with a spiritual calling, and one of the earliest signs is the mysterious way danger seems to slide past them, missing by inches. It could be something as simple as spilling your morning coffee, causing you to leave the house 2 minutes later than planned. You curse under your breath, frustrated with the mess, yet those 2 minutes placed you behind a collision you never had to experience. Or perhaps you've had a sudden delay. Your car wouldn't start, your phone rang unexpectedly, or someone stopped you briefly to ask a question. Tiny disruptions that, in hindsight, saved you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. For many, these events seem forgettable or insignificant. But when you begin to notice how often such moments occur, how frequently you are nudged out of danger's path, the pattern becomes undeniable. It's like an invisible hand has been guiding you away from situations that could take you off the path you were meant to walk. People who are chosen often encounter these protective redirections many times throughout their lives, even from a young age. Some remember childhood incidents where they narrowly avoided harm, and adults around them shook their heads in disbelief, saying things like, "Someone up there must be watching over you," or "You're very lucky." But luck only stretches so far before it becomes something else. Guidance, intervention, divine orchestration. When heaven intervenes, the signs are subtle, but their impact is enormous. You might have experienced a moment where you intended to join a friend somewhere, but suddenly felt drained or uneasy, choosing not to go. Later you found out something happened there, something that would have affected you deeply, maybe even permanently. Or perhaps you were set on pursuing a certain person, job, or opportunity, but everything kept falling apart no matter how hard you tried. At the time, it felt frustrating, disappointing, even painful. But years later, when you discovered what would have been waiting for you in that direction, you realized you were being protected long before you understood from what. These experiences are what many spiritual traditions call protective interventions, subtle divine acts that shift your steps, adjust your timing, and reshape your path, so you avoid harm that was never meant to touch you. These interventions don't always come with clarity. Often they arrive disguised as inconvenience, frustration, or confusion. But once you step back and look at your life from a wider perspective, you begin to see the threads. You begin to see that, again and again, something stepped in to keep you safe. Chosen ones often walk lives filled with near misses. They cross bridges that collapse after they've passed, not before. They avoid relationships that look perfect on the surface, but hide deeper darkness. They move away from people whose intentions they couldn't understand at the time, only to later learn how dangerous those connections could have been. They switch directions in life without knowing why, guided by instinct, intuition, or a force they can't name. There are people who have survived accidents they should not have survived. People who have avoided being in the wrong place simply because something told them to stay where they were. People who have walked away from situations that felt normal on the outside, but alarmed something deep inside them. A quiet alarm they couldn't explain. These are not random happenings. These are the signs that heaven has stepped in, that someone or something has been standing guard along your path, protecting you from harm that was never meant to influence your destiny. What makes these experiences so profound is that they are often ignored in the moment. You don't always see the protection until later, when you are far enough away to understand the context. And that is one of the hallmark experiences of those who are chosen. They are protected in ways they do not recognize until the danger has passed. This is part of the journey, trusting guidance you cannot see, trusting instincts that come from a place deeper than your conscious mind, trusting that interruptions are not obstacles, but signs that your life is being shaped with purpose. If you think back through your life, you might discover more of these moments than you realized. Times when timing shifted just enough to keep you safe, or when your intuition felt louder than usual, pushing you toward one direction and away from another. Times when a no from the universe protected you from a yes that would have destroyed you. Times when something that seemed like a setback eventually revealed itself as a blessing. This is the essence of being chosen. Your journey matters too much for danger to derail it. You are being shaped and guided in ways you can't always understand. And when heaven intervenes, it is because there is something ahead of you that requires your presence, your strength, your survival. Chosen ones are shielded from paths not meant for them. They are redirected, sometimes gently, sometimes forcefully, away from people, places, situations and decisions that would take them off their destined path. They might not always understand why they are pulled away from certain things, but later, when the truth unfolds, they realize they were being protected all along. This kind of protection is one of the clearest signs that someone carries a spiritual purpose. You are being preserved because your existence matters to something larger than yourself. You are being guided because there is a role you have yet to fulfill. You are being saved from paths that are too small, too dark, or too dangerous for your destiny. And so, when you look back at your life and remember those strange coincidences, those moments of sudden intuition, those last-minute changes that shifted everything, recognize them for what they truly are. Evidence that heaven has stepped in, that you are not walking alone, and that you were never meant to fall into the wrong hands or wrong places. There is a reason you are still here. There is a reason you survived what others could not. There is a reason the universe keeps placing you exactly where you need to be. Because maybe, just maybe, you are one of the chosen ones. There is a quiet knowing that lives inside certain people, a sensitivity that goes beyond logic or explanation. While others rely solely on physical senses, those who walk the path of a chosen one carry something different, something deeper woven into their spirit. This inner knowing shows up long before they realize what it truly is. It begins as a hunch, a strange feeling, a sudden awareness that something is off, or something is right, even when nothing around them appears unusual. This heightened sensitivity to energy and powerful intuition is not a coincidence. It is one of the clearest signs that a soul is being guided by heaven. Chosen souls often feel energy before they understand it. They can walk into a room and sense tension without anyone saying a word. They can look into someone's eyes and know whether that person carries good intentions or hidden motives. They can feel a shift in the air, a subtle vibration telling them to move towards something or away from it. And while others might dismiss their feelings as irrational or overly emotional, the chosen ones eventually learn that what they feel is not only real, but profoundly accurate. There are moments when intuition becomes stronger than thought. You might have had experiences where your mind told you one thing, but your body, your heart, your spirit told you something completely different. Maybe you felt drawn to a place you'd never been before, without understanding the reason. Maybe you felt the sudden urge to reach out to someone you hadn't spoken to in months, only to discover they needed you at that exact moment. Or perhaps you pulled away from a situation that looked perfect on the surface, but left your soul feeling unsettled. These are not random emotional reactions. These are signals. These are messages delivered through the sensitivity that chosen souls carry. There are people who have avoided disastrous relationships because something inside them refused to feel safe around a certain person. There are people who changed their plans suddenly because a quiet discomfort made them hesitate, only to later learn that something harmful was waiting for them on the path they did not take. There are people who decide in an instant to walk a different direction, take a different road, or choose a different seat, guided by nothing more than a soft whisper in their spirit. This inner voice, this intuitive pull, is one of the most powerful forms of divine communication. Heaven often speaks through intuition when words are not enough. Logic may fail, reasoning may falter, but intuition rarely lies. For the chosen ones, this intuition becomes sharper with time. It grows louder during moments of danger, stronger during moments of transition, and gentler when guiding them toward opportunities meant for their growth. This heightened inner awareness is activated and strengthened through experiences, especially those that require courage and trust. Every time a chosen soul listens to their intuition, the connection deepens and the guidance becomes clearer. Many people recall moments where they sensed something was wrong before anything actually happened. Perhaps you felt your stomach knot tightly or your chest grow heavy, even though everything around you appeared normal. Maybe you noticed a shift in someone's tone or energy, something so slight others brushed it off, but to you, it felt like a warning. These sensations often manifest physically because intuition speaks through the body. It protects you by making you uncomfortable when danger is near, and it brings peace when you are on the right path. And just as intuition warns, it also draws. Chosen souls often feel mysteriously attracted to certain people, places, or experiences without understanding why. You might have felt a strange familiarity with someone you just met, as if you had known them in another life or another time. You might have encountered places that felt like home the moment you arrived, places where the air felt lighter and your heart felt calm. You might have been pulled toward dreams, goals, or creative passions that others didn't understand, yet something inside you insisted that this path was yours. These moments are spiritual markers, signs that your soul recognizes what your mind cannot explain. This kind of inner guidance is not random. It is activated by heaven to lead chosen souls along the road meant for them. Intuition becomes the compass that directs them toward alignment and away from destruction. When heaven has a purpose for someone, their path cannot be left to chance. Guidance becomes necessary, and intuition becomes the channel through which that guidance flows. For many, this sensitivity begins in childhood. Some children sense danger long before adults do, or feel deeply affected by the emotions of those around them. Others experience moments of clarity, knowing exactly what will happen before it occurs. As they grow older, they learn to suppress these abilities because the world tells them they are imagining things. But chosen souls cannot silence their intuition forever. Eventually, it returns stronger than before, demanding to be acknowledged. As you reflect on your own life, you may notice how often your intuition has tried to speak to you. There may have been times when you ignored it and later wished you hadn't, moments where you realized the inner voice was right. But there were also times when you listened, and because you listened, you were protected. Because you listened, you avoided people who meant you harm. Because you listened, you walked away from situations that could have broken you. Because you listened, you found yourself exactly where you needed to be. This sensitivity to energy is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. It allows chosen individuals to read the unspoken, to sense the invisible, to understand what others overlook. It allows them to walk with awareness and wisdom before they even realize where that wisdom comes from. And although this sensitivity can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially in environments filled with chaos or negativity, it is ultimately one of the most powerful tools a chosen soul carries. You may notice that you absorb the emotions of others easily, feeling drained after being around certain people, or uplifted around others. You may feel restless in places where the energy is heavy, even if nothing seems outwardly wrong. You may sense truth in someone's voice, even when their words contradict their intentions. Over time, you learn to trust these sensations. They become part of how you navigate the world. And this is where the spiritual meaning becomes clear. Heaven activates intuition in the chosen ones because they must walk paths that require precision, awareness, and protection. They must be able to sense what cannot be seen. They must know when to step forward and when to walk away. They must be able to recognize opportunities and dangers without needing physical proof. Their intuition becomes the link between the earthly and the divine. Heaven does not simply protect the chosen ones from external danger, it also guides them internally toward the life they are meant to live. This inner guidance acts like a lighthouse, shining through confusion, uncertainty, and darkness. It ensures that chosen souls do not lose themselves in environments that are not aligned with their purpose. It leads them away from people who drain their spirit and toward those who nourish it. It transforms ordinary moments into meaningful signs that shape their direction. And so, when you begin to see yourself in these experiences, when you remember moments where your intuition saved you, guided you, or revealed truths you weren't meant to ignore, take it as confirmation. You are not imagining these sensations. You are not overly sensitive. You are not too emotional. You are tuned into something deeper, something sacred. You are listening to the voice that was given to you for a reason. If this feels familiar, if something inside you stirs as you hear these words, then your journey might already be aligned with the path of the chosen ones. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a sign. Your intuition is not an accident, it is protection. and heaven has been guiding you far longer than you realize. There are moments in life when reality seems to bend, when small details line up too perfectly to be accidental, when the world around you feels like it is communicating directly with your spirit. These moments are subtle, sometimes fleeting, but they leave an imprint on your heart. For those who walk the path of the chosen ones, these signs and synchronicities are not rare occurrences. They appear again and again, like gentle whispers from heaven calling out to you, guiding you, reassuring you, or nudging you toward your destiny. And once you open your eyes to them, it becomes impossible to ignore how deliberately the universe has been crafting messages just for you. One of the most common signs appears in the form of repeating numbers. You may have seen 111, 222, 333, or other sequences on clocks, receipts, license plates, or random places where numbers appear. At first, it might seem like a strange coincidence, but when the pattern repeats over days, weeks, or even years, something inside you begins to wonder whether there is meaning behind these numbers. Chosen souls often notice repeating numbers during times of transition, doubt, or inner awakening. These numbers arrive to remind you that you are not moving blindly, you are being guided. They are markers placed along your path to let you know you are moving in alignment with a greater purpose. You may not fully understand what each number means, but you feel the message behind them. You feel the nudge. You feel the reassurance that something is communicating with you in a language beyond words. Another powerful way heaven sends messages is through dreams. Not ordinary dreams that fade with the morning light, but vivid, symbolic, emotionally charged dreams that cling to your memory long after waking. Some dreams feel like visions, some feel like warnings, others feel like reunions with people you have never met in this life, but somehow recognize from somewhere deeper. For chosen ones, dreams often carry clarity that waking life does not. They reveal truths, answer questions, or stir emotions that push you toward necessary changes. People who are chosen sometimes dream of paths they are meant to walk, people they are destined to meet, or obstacles they must avoid. These dreams may not always be literal, but their emotional impact is undeniable. They strike the heart, awaken the spirit, and communicate messages you were not ready to hear while awake. Heaven uses dreams because the subconscious mind is more open, more receptive, more willing to receive truths that the conscious mind resists. Synchronicity also appears through people, the unexpected meetings that feel too perfectly timed to be random. You might encounter someone who gives you advice you desperately needed without knowing anything about your situation. You might reconnect with someone you haven't spoken to in years, just when their presence can shift something inside you. You might meet a stranger who leaves a profound impact on your life, someone you feel an instant connection with, someone whose role in your story feels predestined. These encounters do not happen by accident. Heaven aligns people like pieces of a larger puzzle, placing them in your path at the moment their influence is needed. For the chosen ones, these meetings become part of the divine choreography that shapes their journey. Every interaction, every conversation, every coincidence carries meaning. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is accidental. There are also times when signs manifest in physical sensations or unexplained moments that catch your attention. You might see flashes of light out of the corner of your eye when no source is visible. You might hear faint sounds, a whisper, a soft ringing, a warmth in your ear that arrive with meaning rather than fear. You might feel sudden chills or waves of energy that sweep over your body during moments of reflection or emotional clarity. These experiences can be difficult to explain to others, yet they feel natural to those who have walked through them repeatedly. Heaven often communicates through subtle, energetic shifts, letting chosen souls know they are not alone, that their path is being watched, that their steps are being guided with intention. Synchronicities also appear through symbols. You may repeatedly encounter the same animal, the same song, the same phrase, or the same object at times when your mind is wrestling with a question or your heart is searching for direction. These signs come in moments when you least expect them, yet their timing is perfect. Perhaps you kept seeing feathers in unusual places, feeling as though they appeared out of nowhere, or you heard a particular song every time you were thinking of a certain decision, or someone spoke the exact words you needed to hear, right when you needed to hear them. These are not coincidences. These are echoes of divine guidance vibrating through the physical world. They are reminders that your journey is not unfolding in isolation. What makes these signs so powerful is not their appearance, but the way they connect with your inner world. Two people may see the same sign, but only one of them feels its meaning. This is because signs are meant for those who are ready to receive them, and chosen souls are naturally attuned to such messages. They sense the significance behind the moment. They feel the alignment in their spirit. They understand that the universe is communicating in ways that cannot be denied or ignored. Even when signs appear in the midst of struggle, they carry purpose. Sometimes heaven sends signs not to comfort you, but to wake you up. Synchronicity can serve as a warning, urging you to leave behind environments that no longer serve your growth. It can urge you to question the intentions of someone in your life. It can push you to trust a path that seems uncertain, but feels undeniably right. Chosen souls often receive signs that challenge them to step into their purpose, even when fear tries to hold them back. There is a deeper reason why these signs appear so frequently in the lives of the chosen. Not everyone receives them, not in the same intensity, not with the same clarity, not with the same spiritual impact. These signs are reserved for souls with higher purpose, because their missions require guidance that transcends the physical world. Heaven cannot allow a chosen soul to wander aimlessly. Their path requires precision, their timing matters, their growth matters, their awakening matters. And so signs appear like breadcrumbs, leading them toward moments of transformation. As you look back on your life, you may realize how many synchronicities have shaped your journey without you realizing it at the time. You may think of moments when repeating numbers appeared during emotional turning points, dreams guided you during difficult decisions, or strangers delivered messages that altered your perspective. You may recall flashes of energy, sudden realizations, or symbols that repeatedly appeared until you could no longer ignore their meaning. These are the marks of a soul chosen for something greater. Chosen ones are not guided through logic alone, they are guided through alignment. They are guided through signs that bypass the thinking mind and speak directly to the spirit. They are guided through synchronicities that reveal the hidden architecture of their destiny. When heaven communicates, it does not shout, it whispers, and only those with awakened awareness can hear those whispers clearly. If these experiences resonate with you, if you find yourself remembering moments where the universe felt like it was speaking your language, then you are already walking with signs. You are already being guided. You are already being shaped by forces greater than you realize. These moments are not coincidences. They are not illusions. They are messages, and they are meant for you. As we come to the end of this journey together, take a deep breath and let everything you've heard settle gently into your heart. When you look back across the landscape of your life, you may notice threads you overlooked before, moments that now appear brighter and more meaningful. The chosen ones are not defined by grand gestures, dramatic signs, or loud revelations. They are known by the quiet ways heaven protects them, the subtle ways the universe speaks to them, and the unshakable feeling that their life has always been guided by something beyond the physical world. Maybe you remember those strange escapes that made no sense at the time, the last-minute changes that shielded you from danger, the inexplicable delays that kept you safe without your awareness. Maybe you are beginning to see that these weren't accidents at all. They were acts of protection, woven into your story long before you understood their purpose. Maybe you felt the power of heightened intuition, guiding you through situations your mind couldn't reason through. Even when you doubted yourself or felt unsure, something deep inside you whispered truths you could not deny. That inner voice has always been there, steady and wise, nudging you toward the right path, pulling you away from the wrong one, and revealing truths long before the world confirmed them. This intuition is not a flaw, it is a gift. It is one of the clearest signs of a soul chosen for something greater, and maybe, just maybe, you've seen the divine signs scattered along your path. The repeating numbers that appeared when you needed reassurance. The vivid dreams that lingered long after waking. The chance encounters that felt destined. The symbols that kept showing up until you finally paid attention. These synchronicities were not random. They were guiding lights, gentle reminders that heaven has always been closer than you realized. When you put all of these pieces together, a picture begins to form. It's the story of someone who has been protected, guided, and watched over again and again, even during times when they felt alone or forgotten. And if these experiences feel familiar to you, if something inside you stirs with recognition as you hear these words, then perhaps you are beginning to see the truth. Perhaps heaven has been watching over you far longer than you realize. You were never navigating this path blindly. You were never facing your challenges without support. Every mysterious escape, every intuitive pull, every sign and synchronicity has been part of a larger design, a sacred pattern meant to help you grow into the person you were always meant to become. You are not here by accident. You are here with purpose, and the universe has been guiding you toward that purpose in ways both seen and unseen. As you carry this message with you, I hope it brings you comfort, clarity, and a sense of peace. You are cherished. You are guided. You are protected more deeply than you know. And your journey is far from over. If this message touched your heart, please like, share this video, and subscribe so I can continue bringing you more spiritual guidance.